Good evening, guys. Rebel Creative here. I wanted to introduce you guys to a very good friend of mine who is a chef, and he's going to help me learn to advance my skills. This is Chef Sean.
Hello there.
So tonight we are going to make two semi-different dishes. Again, he is more advanced than I am, and I asked him out of his kind heart to help me advance myself, and he agreed. Well, one of the dishes we are making is rabbit stew. Second one, I forget. He can explain.
Essentially, it's going to be a shrimp and pasta dish with white wine, red onion in place of shallots because we just don't have any. So linguine, arugula, basil, parsley, and baby spinach.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So we are going to go step by step with this again. He is more advanced than I am. He is the chef. He is a great cook. I have had his food before, and I am still learning, because if you guys seen from my other videos, I am not an expert, but I want to learn. So, let's give it a try. He is going to be instructing me as we go, so enjoy. Thank you.
Right. So, first bit, we're going to cut down one of each of these carrots, because we're going to be stuffing the rabbit, specifically with rosemary, thyme, sage, a bunch of things that once we start searing the actual rabbit is going to impart flavor into the meat.
Sure.
So we'll start.
Give me 1 second, Chef. Let me just adjust this so our viewers can watch.
Yeah, come on over here.
I just adjusted the view, guys. I want you guys to watch this as it's happening. Again, he's chef. I'm new.
Right. So I'm not even going to skin these because I've already rinsed them. And they're going to get cooked down, and a lot of the nutrients and everything you're going to get is actually, once you wash the dirt and everything off, is going to come from the skin.
Okay.
Fancier places will cut the skin off because everybody expects it. Once you rinse them, it's not entirely necessary.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you this tiny little one for the beginner.
Sure. And how should I cut these?
So, because these are going into the rabbit, the first thing you're going to do is long ways.
Okay.
And cut it in half.
Watching your hands so I don't
So,
get injured.
don't cut yourself.
Yeah. That's why he's teaching me all.
Perfect. Alright. So, and again, in half.
Okay. Awesome.
And
Was
then,
that one should have been better, or?
That's fine.
Okay.
Like I said, it's going into the rabbit. We're going to sear the rabbit. We're going to put the stock on top of the rabbit, let it simmer. All this is going to get cooked down and taken out.
Okay.
These are not something that's going to be in the finished product, which is why we have the other ones in reserve.
Sure.
And then, I'm just going to chop them.
So I'm not that good, if you guys can see. To me, that's impressive. I'm still learning.
It takes time. Eventually you learn. Specifically, if you want to, you see how my fingers are?
Yeah.
See we call it the spider, right? See, so it's like a spider.
Yeah.
But that way, if you look at while I'm doing it, I know I'm left-handed, which makes it difficult for the camera, even for you to see, but because my fingers are here, and my nails, everything is tucked in, what I've got is, if you look...
Don't mind me, let me grab the camera so you can actually
put
see.
it right here.
I'm going to hold the camera, you guys, just for a moment. So
you can rest it right there.
Well, I just want to hold it on a good angle.
Alright, so the blade is resting specifically on my middle knuckle, and everything is tucked in. So I can do this, and I don't even have to look. Yeah. I just know exactly where the blade is, and I know I'm not going to get cut. Yeah. So you can do that. I know this is a bigger blade, but you can do it with that one too. It's a simple matter of... slide these out of the way.
Sure.
Cut this in half so it's easier.
Okay, I did this for you guys, all the viewers, so you guys know exactly what you are doing.
So, again, the spider, everything is tucked in so you don't cut anything. And then the blade is resting on that middle knuckle, which is a little bit forward. And then you can just go through as long as you make sure to keep on pushing back and keep everything tucked in. I'm not even looking. Proper knife skills are always important, the way you don't hurt yourself and you're not feeding anybody your own blood, which is always a good thing.
Yes. Once again, He's the chef, not me. I'm not as advanced as us.
Alright, so let's see you try.
Sure. Yeah. 1 second, guys. He's having me test my skills. Not an issue for me. Well, somewhat. I have no problem trying something out.
Alright, so you're going to take the first guy in your right hand. So, yes. Already? Turn your hand. Let's take this away. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's not drop it. You see how my hand is like this? Yep, like that. So you're going to hold this like that. Middle finger on the product, but still with it tucked in.
Okay.
Yep, and then you're going to keep the knife with that. So when you're cutting, it's going to feel like this.
Okay.
And make sure, see that? The first time, yeah. See that? That's no good. Yeah. You want it like that. Because that way, no matter how much you do this, you're never going to cut your fingers.
Okay.
Always be aware of where your fingertips are. So you're going to start from up here.
Yeah. I know that I'm going to get this on first, so I can guarantee that.
That's alright. Slow is fine. So now you're going to get to here. You want to know your knife is up against here.
Okay.
And you don't ever, so the knife is going to put down. Okay. You're good? No, keep your hand exactly where it is.
I apologize.
So now you're good. So now you feel,
yeah.
If you're going to feel the knife, this is up against, and you keep on going, because you're never going to cut your finger as long as it's tucked in.
Yeah.
As long as you keep the knife up against and the blade never comes up, you're never going to cut your skin. It's literally this.
Yes.
So you just watch that finger again.
Yeah.
Everything always tucked in, like a tiger claw, if that makes it any easier.
Yeah. I just know for me.
Watch your fingers.
Yeah.
See? I told you. Watch your fingers.
I didn't cut myself though, chef. Which I'm very grateful for.
Always in. This. Yes. Even if you have to do it like this until you get used to it, this is good. Tiger claw.
Yes.
Or, like I said, spider.
Yeah.
So, alright.
I did not cut myself. There's no cut.
That's great. I'm not into cannibalism tonight. I definitely to eat your skin, thank you.
Chef is for real and blunt, you guys, but he's got character and funny.
And my apologies for any cursing that may happen. I can't help myself.
But he is helping me learn.
You're already not doing it. You're already like...
He's allowed to yell at me, y'all.
You already stopped. Fucking hell.
Okay, Chef, you're allowed to yell at me.
I'm just... Dude.
Yeah, but you can still yell at me because I'm still in practice.
Well, that's why I'm going to yell at you, because... You know how many times I've cut myself because I was being stupid? Fingers in.
Hey, I am not that bad.
I didn't say you were stupid. I said I'm stupid. Fingers in.
No, I just chose to say I am not that bad.
I didn't say you were. I just, you keep on putting your fingers out. You're going to cut them off. This isn't Stubby Chef channel. This is, we're not cooking with nubs.
I can't help it.
This isn't cooking with nubs. You don't want to cut your fingertips off. That's bad. That's like rule number 1.
Don't mind me. You're gonna have. I'm sure.
I'd rather the food taste bad and you retain all your digits. It's probably a better thing. Although lovely work. Just don't cut your fingers off.
No, I'm pretty sure once a few of you guys watch this, you're going to be laughing at my crazy ass, and it don't bother me, because I'm the one learning. And if you guys, I know out there who can cook, you are not this advanced. I'm not trying to sound like a bitch shouting me out, but I'm being honest.
Don't alienate your audience.
I'm not alienating. No, the one will know who I'm talking about.
Gotcha. Also, the way you're holding the knife.
Yes.
You see the way I hold the knife? This. So, you keep moving it up. Finger here. Thumb here above the handle. This is going to give you more control.
Okay.
It's going to give you a better ability to control. This isn't going to give you nearly as much. You want to choke up on the bat.
Okay.
Like baseball. Okay. Choke up on the bat, it gives you more control. That way, and use closer to your fingers so you know where the blade is. So you're going to use this side of the blade, like this area.
Okay.
This instead.
Okay.
Don't cut from the tip. Cut from the... Yeah. Better.
Thank you.
And that will give you more control, and because you have the spatial awareness naturally of where your fingers are in your head, like when you close your eyes and I tell you to touch your nose and you can do it. Yeah. If you have spatial awareness of where your hands are, so if everything is choked up and your fingers are all here, in the back of your head, your body actually knows where your fingers are, which is, again, less likely to make you nubby.
Yes.
Always a good thing.
So I'm glad I just learned something new from Chef.
We'll slide those over.
And by the way, guys, just in case, because this is only part 1, I know we will take a break in between. This is prep video for this part, but I'm learning prepping. I'm also learning to cook 2 different dishes. Sorry, guys, about the view. I don't mind it.
So understandably, so what we're doing is we are prepping vegetables because we are going to stuff the carcass of the rabbit. Once we sear it and saute it, we're going to get sage, thyme, rosemary, all kind of infusing the meat before we even add water or stock.
Not my meat. I am...
Oh yeah, fix it. That's great. Nobody can see my sweatpants now.
That's not even that. You can put the hands worth showing.
So...
But he's going to cut that in front of you guys because I still need practice, obviously.
Oh, you don't want to do this? We've got 2.
Well, I can still help. I don't mind.
So...
But I knew you were cutting that far. That's why I said that.
So
I don't
again,
use this end.
we're going to cut it in half. Yeah, you can cut that bit off. It helps you. That's no problem.
Yes, my OCD. Can I continue?
That's fine.
Where's your... Okay.
Like I said, I'm going to slice it long ways in half.
Okay.
Alright, and then again, with the tiger claw of the spider, keeping everything close up, choke up on the knife, and just, again, take your time. Yeah. There's no hurry with it. Again, like what I told you.
Yeah.
Choke up on the knife.
Like this?
Mm-hmm. And use closer to your fingers. Mm-hmm. Good. You're good. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I can honestly say, you guys, because the fact he's teaching me in advance, it's helping me learn more, and I'm enjoying this because I enjoy cooking.
Everything takes time.
If you guys just heard that, he just said everything takes time and patience, which I completely agree with, especially when it comes to good food. I've seen certain shows, and no. And if Chef was in this room right now, he would have yelled at me for what almost just happened. But I'm not hurt.
Did you cut yourself?
No.
Okay. Again. All right. Next is onions.
No, my fingers weren't like that. The one went like that. That's what I'm doing.
Again, it's muscle memory. It's muscle memory. It's time, and just continuously doing it. Eventually, you just do it automatically. But you're learning, so it takes time.
Yes.
How are you at dicing onions?
I am not the greatest at it. I will admit.
Okay. So we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you the first half.
Hold on. Let me grab this so they can watch. And then I will help learn.
So, I'll show you the first half. Now, for this, I'm going to...
And yes, our hands are clean, guys. We severely washed, considering it's still in the midst of COVID.
Forego the cleaver and pull out my nikiri knife. Nikiri is a Japanese vegetable cleaver, as opposed to a nigiri knife, which is a Japanese sushi cleaver. Fun facts, small differences. So, start pulling it that way.
I'm trying to get you more here.
So you've got the 2 slices, both ways, also working with the grain of the onion, which means you're going to make sure that everything is kind of equal out as humanly as possible. And then we're going with small because we're stuffing the rabbit with this, so I mean, there's a difference between small, medium, and large, depending on the dice. And I got the last one over here. And we've got diced onion. So we're going to go slow with you.
Yes.
So you can see everything. I'm actually going to have you use this one because it's probably going to be slightly easier.
Right, guys, I am putting this down so that way I can get my practice in.
Feel this guy.
Okay, I'm going to angle it a certain way.
Alright, so first thing you want to do, and you're doing it the opposite way. So
yeah, I'm right-handed.
So you're gonna hold it like this, and making sure not to go that far down because first you're going to go sideways. So you're gonna, if you want, I'll hold it, or you can put your hands on top of mine, or I'll put my hands on top of yours, so you know exactly what you're doing. But now, carefully, with not a lot of pressure, because you don't need a lot with this. You want to get it to like there. You want to have like a little bit left on the onion. So carefully, and yes, do a sawing motion, but like very gently, because you don't need a whole lot.
I'm struggling with it, as you can tell, Chef.
Alright, perfect. You went too far. Okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Nothing?
There's no cut.
Went too far. Alright, it's understandable.
Yeah.
I
will get it eventually.
And honestly, there's really not that much pressure involved. I think maybe we were pushing too hard down on the onion.
Okay.
It's okay. So
I'm the beginner.
Right, so I'll take care of this one.
Okay.
And what you're gonna do here is you're going to just like we did the tiger claw.
Yeah.
You're just going to cut like that. So it's gonna be the opposite side for you. So you're gonna start from this side, tiger claw, and just cut. Not all the way through. See where all my cuts stop?
Yeah.
About a quarter inch.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put this here. You're gonna hold the onion. That's it.
Okay.
All the way to finish up my cuts.
Okay.
So you did it the whole way, that's okay. Literally just said don't do the whole way, but that's alright. This is we can still do this and we can make it work.
Yeah. I'm still learning, so
it's alright.
I'm not doubting myself.
Time and patience, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Alright, so since you cut all the way through, what we're gonna do now is we're going to gather them all up together.
Okay, so that's what I'm.
And then you're just going to, you didn't fail. It's just, this is also, once you start doing it this way, you get a whole lot more, a whole much more sulfur release from the onion. So you're going to stop crying.
I'm not crying yet. I'm
not crying, you're crying! So now you're going to carefully chop these, but you're going to go the other way, obviously. You're going to go this way.
Yeah.
Because it hangs.
I was going to say,
that's fine, do it that way, you're good.
This is fun.
The fun part about cooking versus baking is a lot of oopsies and mistakes can be fixed.
Yes.
Actually, a lot more simply. Baking, you put too much salt, too much flour, too much anything in, your blueberry muffins are just bollocks. However, cooking, if it's too salty, you add citrus. If it's too much one thing, usually there's a counteraction, you can add another, because it's...
And Chef, how may I ask how these turn out?
Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad at all. I mean, it's alright though, like I said, these are going to get stuffed in the rabbit, and they're going to get cooked down.
Yeah.
So...
I just want to make sure, Chef.
No, you're good. You are absolutely fine.
Do we have to prep anything else, Chef?
Yes, we actually have...
Is that going to be prepped up or not?
We've got a multitude of herbs. We've got, like I said, sage, rosemary, and thyme, as opposed to parsley. Sage, rosemary, and thyme. Because, the song.
He's grabbing on this, that way you guys can take a peek at what it looks like.
Rosemary, sage. So the thyme is small enough, and because, like I said, it's just getting stuffed in.
Yeah.
We don't even have to really cut this down. We don't really have to cut it.
If you want to hold it up to the camera, that way they can see.
Alright,
it's not everybody's a cook.
So,
or a chef, obviously.
This is fresh thyme. It's got small little leaves on it. Usually you buy, any produce section of most stores has it, unless you're ShopRite, and then they just run out of stuff for no reason. Which is why I don't go there for herbs.
And times with the COVID.
Oh no, it's just all the time. Even before COVID happened, they still ran out of stuff all the time. ShopRite sucks. And then we got rosemary, which it's honestly, this is one of my favorite herbs because when I cut it, your hands just smell like it all the time, and it's just really, you can smell it there. It's got like a lemony, citrusy, just very, very nice with a lot of savory dishes. And then sage, which I feel like is very underused. Certain people will pick up because sage, talk about burning sage to expel, bad vibes or whatever from a room or a house. Also, the fact that sage is very much used in, and sage also is used in churches and things like that for that same reason. So the smell is very similar. Mm-hmm. The flavor is also going to be very similar. Fun fact about sage, and when you look at it, you can actually see the leaves are very velvety.
Yeah.
Feel them. Really, it's actually, it feels like velvet.
Yeah.
So we've got fresh sage. We are going to take just a couple leaves. I'm going to chop them again because we're stuffing the rabbit with this, so it's not necessary. But sage is also very strong. Fresh is always going to be weaker than dry. Remember that. So if you are using fresh herbs and the recipe calls for dried or mentions it, you're probably going to have to use almost double the amount because the dried ones, all the oils and everything else has been condensed because of the process of drying them out. So when it comes to using fresh, you're probably going to need just a little bit more. Just a rule of thumb to think about. So let's take these guys. That's probably good for the first rabbit. And I did get 2 rabbits. It's in my experience with this recipe that you're going to get somewhere between 3/4 to a gallon of stew per rabbit. Mostly because of the fact that we're going to be using a roux to thicken the stew, because stew isn't stew unless it's thick. Everybody has their own opinion of what they like about stew. I don't think stew is stew unless you can take it and spread it on bread. But that's just a matter of each chef's opinion. So, that should be good for
me. This is just my first time making stew. Last time I had stew was like a beef stew. That was when I was a kid. Otherwise, it was the canned stew, which, if I had to compare from when I liked both, I'd have to say it was the homemade version.
So, alright. Well, canned anything tends to be not nearly as nice.
I'll be honest, I remember mainly the taste of the homemade, and even though I don't eat cow meat anymore because of health and digestive reasons, the canned, if I can remember a bit of it, it just tasted to me so off. That was before I had to stop eating cow meat because not just the health, but my digestive system.
So the last 2 things we're going to stuff in these rabbits. Sorry, my bad.
You're good.
The last 2 things we're going to stuff in this rabbits as far as aromatics go is going to be these lovely...
Okay, you're cutting them, I am not.
These lovely Chinese shiitake mushrooms that I got from the local Asian market. Lots of umami, lots of flavor, a lot better than white mushrooms.
I'm having him do this because I don't like mushrooms. But if I had to do this for a video, at least I'm learning from him.
So we're not going to finely chop the garlic because it's not necessary. Again, it's all just going in the rabbit. I'm just going to rough chop the garlic. Just very simply. Just enough that I can separate it between the 2. And again, I don't want to use a lot of the mushroom because I'm saving the rest of it to make sure we have enough to give a dimension of umami flavor to the stock. So, plus these rabbits are not that big. They're not going to fit all of this. So we know we definitely have these bits. And then we're going to use what we can of the other bits. So, alright.
I'm not trying to sound like a wimpy, guys, but I am not a fan of mushrooms. Like, I can tell he also did that so I could avoid eating them, which I'm grateful for. But for me, taste and texture with mushrooms, heck no. I never liked them.
So, the fun thing about a stew, and especially a stew like this where all these flavors are kind of coming together, is that chances are you're not going to be able to pinpoint the actual flavor of the mushrooms. And Like I said, I will strain the mushrooms out once I get the stock done before I put the roux in to thicken it. That way you don't have to deal with mushrooms.
No, I just choose to be for real.
I'll save them so the rest of us people can eat them.
Yes.
Alright, so if you want to turn the camera here.
Okay.
So, I mean, rabbit is a very, very delicate meat. It kind of is almost like gamey chicken, is the best way to put it. And I don't mean gamey in a bad way. I mean, like, actually has an added dimension of flavor. So, I got these rabbits from the local Asian market. They're frozen, so I thawed them. So, the rabbit will be hopping along, you know. Got his arms and his legs.
Sorry if this looks gross, you guys, but I chose to keep this for real, so.
So, they've already taken all the insides out of the rabbit. That's where the head would have been. We're going to stuff this body cavity like you would a turkey on Thanksgiving. So, let me get both these rabbits out.
I can guarantee for myself, everybody, I have never eaten this before. I can't think of any time I ever have. And because it's not considered with my dietary restrictions, I chose to give it a try.
Rabbit is like I said, it is a little gamey, but it's also fairly delicate. And honestly, if you cooked a bunch of rabbit and chicken stock, you won't really be able to generally tell the difference. Except, or maybe, oh, this chicken is slightly chewy. And you can just smile to yourself. Although, nobody should ever feed somebody an animal they may not always eat unless you tell them. Because that's just...
Well, that and you can make them sick. Wrong. You can make them sick, too. I've had that happen to me. I had someone hand me a food with cow meat in it, and I kept getting sick.
Yeah, well, no,
honestly.
You just make sure to let them know what they're eating, of course.
No, the person decided to test me to see if I can eat something.
Alright. So, I do have, obviously, 2 separate cutting boards. As you can see, this cutting board is specifically for the raw meat. So we're not going to cross-contaminate anything. And the big wooden one is for all the vegetables and everything else. So,
and he's more experienced, so I'm just holding this for now, but I'm still learning in the process, which I'm enjoying.
We're going to start with the herbs and the garlic. Like I said, we're going to spread them out, stuff them into the actual body cavity up here where the chest was, and make sure they all end up down here as well. Just make sure it's all completely spread out. So you can see it's everywhere. It's not just any one thing. That way, like, the meat is...
And we are also not trying to offend anybody, animal lovers, anything like that. This is something I chose to do because I wanted to learn something new. So if you're going to take offense, don't watch the channel.
No way. No, you're good. I understand. There's no way you're going to learn.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't want rabbit stew, you would have probably turned it off initially.
Yeah.
Everybody else who's interested, like I said, you can get this at most local Asian markets. It will be frozen. You're going to have to thaw it. Best way to thaw anything is in the fridge overnight or wrapped up in a Ziploc bag and then put in a pot or something else on continuous cold running water. Because that way there's no worry of bacteria or anything else. Same way that restaurants thaw chicken or anything else they do. So, sorry, I don't want to handle all the bits that we may be putting in the stock later if I'm also handling the meat. So there's going to be a lot of
just like me, we're both continue hand washing.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of hand washing in between. Alright, so we got carrots, onions, celery. Like I said, rabbits are not very big, so it's a very small amount of each per rabbit. Make sure to stuff it all the way in there. Make sure all the bits are covered. Now, you could, if you really wanted to, like if you were doing this, like with a fresh rabbit carcass, like if you hunted it or you bought it from a farmer's market, and you wanted to just do, like, just rabbit by itself, and it wasn't in a stew or a soup or something like that, I can understand wanting to tie it up to keep all those lovely aromatics inside. But considering after the fact we're just going to be putting stock and water and seasoning on top of it to let it kind of cook down and simmer to pull all the meat off the bones, there's no reason to tie this up, because even if it falls out, it's going to end up falling out anyway, and it's not going to make a difference. A small handful of each bit. And again,
I'm finding this curious as I watch, even though I'm controlling the camera, but still, it's awesome to learn.
Absolutely.
Considering I've never made a Thanksgiving turkey.
Well, it's very similar to stuffing a turkey, except the body cavity for the chest is very, very small. And the rest of it, like I said, that's why some people might want to tie it up. But given what we're doing with it, not necessary. I've got this lovely stock pot. I believe this is a 24-quart stock pot. So,
just making sure the angle is good.
This going.
What is the temperature for that?
Well, you're just going to put it on high for the most part, because like I said, you're trying to sear this.
And that's olive oil, or?
This is olive oil. I'm also going to put a small bit of butter in there. I'm going to season the outside of these with white pepper, salt, a little bit of garlic.
Okay.
And we're going to... What you're hearing right now is actually the water that was still in there interacting with the oil that's heating up. This is the pot I happen to use to thaw out the rabbit, which is, you know, still got water in it, so. Now, I'm going to use pink Himalayan salt, just because I want to be super fancy pants. And also the fact that there are, there's a lot more nutrients and minerals and things like that in there that's going to help. Put that down to a little bit more of a medium heat.
Yeah, just push the sound for now.
Salt.
That smells good, though.
That's just the butter and oil. It's not.
No, I know. That's fair. I can put it on my mouth.
Always be careful with white pepper. It's a lot more, for lack of a better word, peppery or spicy heated than black pepper is.
Oh,
yeah, it's going to spit.
Even I'm not used to that all.
We've got 2 dimensions of pepper in there. Like I said,
hey, that's why you're the chef. You're teaching me.
A little bit of, because we're just going to dry rub these guys. Just enough.
Well, I think I had an advanced friend who's a chef help me out. I'm learning as I go, and I'm having fun doing this.
Dry rub these guys. In you go, mate. And
wow.
Number 2. And now that we're cooking Thumper, all you Disney fans, next time we'll get some venison and cook Bambi. I'm just kidding. That was...